So why pick Jesus?
That's a very good question. I'm about to say that because the dynamic of Roman before Constantine, they have freedom to believe whichever god they want to. So the same thing as China, right? So China, basically, everyone knows that the government claims to be God, but they are not. They cannot help you. So they just try to find out their own gods to be working. This is exactly the case of Roman. Roman not only have free to worship, they also have free to not worship and to discard, to replace. So as I said, they worship God for a very specific demand or request. When their demands are met, they will continue worshiping the God next time, maybe even give better sacrifice. But if the God consistently fail them, they will go to another God. It's a free market of gods.
Okay.
And
Jesus is the most successful one.
Yep.
It is definitely, yes.
Oh, there's very, very important historical facts that people don't understand is that people say because of Constantine. No, because before Constantine, Christianity has been growing at 2% per year for like 200 or 300 of years. That's a miracle by itself, right? The author of the book, bringing it out, he is saying, okay, it's a free market of God, and Christian eventually win because firstly they are exclusive and there are other reasons. It's not nothing. So they don't need to do anything big, but 2% for 200 years, then you are there. You are successful, dominating, and constantly converting. No, 2% a year. We're just keeping like the 10 people just for like 200 years, grow or not, is a miracle. So any idea like that will die. Like Buddhism, there are emperor helping it too, but basically it cannot change the rod in the order of hundreds of years. The emperor helping you will give you a boost. Boom. After the emperor die, you just go back to your natural trajectory because some people want to please the emperor so that they worship the god. But after the emperor dies, they stop doing so because they don't believe in the first place. But
so one of the differences in Christianity and many of the other religions is that part of many sects of Christianity is the belief of spreading the word. And that does not actually happen in many of the other world's religions.
I think, to be honest, all the successful ones are kind of like that. Like Buddhism.
They have spreading the word.
They are not as eager or as passionate about as Christians. No, but they do have some missionaries.
Because like with Christians, they believe that like you will go to hell, and so they're just very, very forceful about it. Especially like combining it with colonialism.
I think way before that, even at Paul's time, Paul spent all the effort of doing this kind of thing, like telling people the gospels, right? I think this is a reason, but I still think that doesn't explain the success at its scale, because I came from the internet background or internet product background. It's basically you are saying iPhone just win Nokia because iPhone is good at selling. I don't think that is the case. Actually many big giants, they tried very hard to sell things, but eventually the winner must be just the dominantly better thing. Like people have the freedom to choose whether they use Yahoo or Google or Bing, but they choose Google. Why? Because Google is better.
There are many Christians who do not have a choice.
Yeah, but the thing that is a grassroots. They begin with like 500 people. Some people say it's 20.
The original evolution of the faith. So going back to 2,000 years ago, the original evolution of the faith.
That's actually, I think I believe when Jesus died, he has like hundreds of followers, not 20. He must have hundreds. But that people, that so if their thing doesn't work, the people will die. No one will believe them, right? So I think it's still the same thing. Even if there's like Constantine live like Constantine just found out Jesus when he just died and want to just make it his brand, then broadcasting and eventually will die out. So people, you have no choice. You have to believe because you need to please the emperor. You need to please Constantine. You better do. You better worship Jesus. You have no choice. But eventually, even that case won't work because many emperors do that. But Christianity is purely grassroots, and they replace the gods who are worshipped for very specific reason. I think really I cannot. Yeah, there are other explanations saying like, okay, people are just so passionate about worshiping, and also they are exclusive, unlike other gods. Like after you believe in Jesus, you cannot switch. At least as long as you want to continue worship Yahweh or Jesus, you cannot worship other gods. Yeah. It's exclusive. But however, even if, for example, Nokia says, tell you use my phone, you cannot switch, you cannot go to Apple. But even you lose your bending power if they believe you are useless.
So there's a theory that these godlike entities become more powerful based on how many people believe in them. And so if that's true, then Yahweh would be the most powerful entity because all the other pantheons split their worship and belief amongst multiple different entities.
I don't know.
If that theory is true, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, I think we can never be sure because there may be another possibility, like saying their divine power are equal. Like for example, random. For you can say that they have no divine power at all. They are just being delusional, or they have some more divine power, like 20% of better chances, and they are the same. However, Christianity is first exclusive, and is have a motivation to broadcast for propaganda their religion. And will that be the bigger one after like many iterations? Chances are, but will that become dominant? I don't know. This is a theory. It's possible. It's simply just because they are exclusive and or eager to broadcast, so they become the dominant one. It's possible. But however, there is another power, which is time. Time just kills everyone. If you don't have anything specific, any stronger divine power, if other are 20%, and you are also like 20 or even 21, which is insignificant, chances are you will replace by random power from the time, because time's removing power is so strong. Basically, everything is born and everything is dead. Everything die because just time make you die. Dying is I think the nature of our world, right? So things must die.
Yeah, and in America, the belief in Abrahamic God is declining.
Oh yeah, I don't know because I think our lifetime is too small. Yeah. So for them, it's declining for like 30 or 50 years, or even 100 years is not a big thing, unless it's divine like that. Yeah. But I think
basically colonialism has really pushed the religion forward, and colonialism didn't even really start to decline until after World War II. We're still trying to end it, really.
Yeah, I think we can never know. For example, the ancient Romans, those scholars. So if you tell them Christianity is like today, what? They'll be like, "Are you crazy? It's impossible." So because in their mind, this religion is really, like you said, low class. like all second car seller, lower than that, to be honest, because literally they said those people are illiterate and they are very literally low class people and like children, housewives, labor, some kind of thing. Yeah, what they have done in the world? My God. So if you tell them, I think some of them will immediately say there must be some divine power helping them.
Interesting. Mm.
It is. I read a lot about Christianity for other reasons, for other motivation. Partly is because the curiosity from philosophical perspective, sometimes I find out what Jesus said really make a lot of sense. Philosophically, wisdomly, not about the theological part, but just how to live a good life, how this world works. So those kind of things, what Jesus said in the three gospels, I would say, excluding John. John, I don't really understand at that moment. I find that those are really powerful things, and so I begin to look into that and link the argument like about who is Jesus and what happened. For example, some people saying that Jesus is a myth. These people doesn't exist, because this is that. And some people say, the Bible is inaccurate, meaning everything is historically accurate about in the Bible. This because this is that. Some people have something in between. I think you can answer either way, especially if you don't look at external evidence, even the myth one, which serious historians never took them seriously. The thing that Jesus doesn't exist, no one takes those seriously. I mean, historical today, maybe 20 years later, they will begin to take it seriously. But however, my main evidence is just the free market of God theory. What I just described basically is a fact. No one disagrees that ancient Romans have freedom to believe whichever God they want to. And after many, many years of iteration, all of them end up believing in Yahweh or Jesus. This is one evidence.
I have trouble accepting that Jesus was anything other than a human being. So I believe that it's possible that there are sub-entities, and that Yahweh is one of those entities.
That is.
But I think that Jesus was a philosopher. It also brings up the question of what's the difference between a philosopher who provides a paper or long discussion about why he believes in what he believes in versus a philosopher who says, well, God said so.
Well, one difficult about Jesus being a philosopher is about his background. So unless the gospel are just vastly wrong, just because basically he is from a normal family from Galilee. Well, to be honest, philosophy or not, how smart or not, it is a miracle that he can read anything. He's being literate is a miracle by itself. Like, I would rather believe you have one billion. Unlikely. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if he was literate.
Yeah, if he is not literate, how can he be so smart?
My theory is actually that Mary adopted him. And that during that time period, it was rare to treat your adopted children the same as your bio children. And that he was treated and loved just as much as his siblings.
And like James,
it was through Mary that he learned about love and compassion, and then he spread that word. That's my theory.
It's possible, but I doubt love can give him that strong wisdom.
Oh yes, because the lack of stress in his life allowed his brain to think about other things, gave his brain enough time and power to focus on other things. And also, like, comparing, like, if he compare himself to other adopted children, and being like, wow, I had such a better life than they did. Wow, my mom was so great. And this made my family so great. Wouldn't it be great if everyone was like this?
I think this experience will make him a very good people, very lovable people, or even very successful people. But it is, and die at like age 80, like make him a Warren Buffett. It's possible. But the saying that to become Warren Buffett from a poor background takes time. Like Warren Buffett, if Warren Buffett is as smart today as when he's 30.
But if you go by the inevitability theory, in that there are billions of adopted children through history, one of them will come out good enough and connect with the right people and spread the word of love.
I think.
And also, there isn't one of them. Yeah. There is another one.
Who?
I want to say Mithras, but it's not Mithras. Well, it's like an M. Has like exactly the same story as Jesus.
I think you have to accept this. If you say Jesus is a philosopher, mm-hmm. He's not just your day-to-day philosopher, right? I think you have to.
What's the difference? What?
For example, people the philosopher of our time who just published like 10 books about some ideas.
Yeah, but we still have like Marcus Aurelius that we still reference. We still have Plato and Socrates.
Oh yeah.
So I think that he's one of those.
But he is.
Well, we don't worship Plato.
Yeah, but he is more successful than you have to agree, right? Based mm-hmm. on influence, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So basically, you can.
But those philosophers didn't try to like start talking about like that God mandates or God wants.
But they talk about other things. They are the pretty talkative people.
Yeah, they're very, very talkative people.
Yeah, they just try to sell their ideas.
Socrates just went around town just like talking to
people. Yeah, like Paul. I think that he is even more motivated than Paul in some way, right?
Yeah.
So, well, here is another thing that eventually just somehow Jesus his idea just went through all of them, right? But honestly, I think love is definitely powerful, but it's hard to say. So Jesus is, if even you say like Jesus, because this love like in his early years that really gave him power, so he has a chance to grow to be a very successful scholar in his 70, and eventually he reached the level of Seneca or even beyond those great philosophers in the world. It becomes the better of them, like 2 times better of them. It's possible. But the thing that he have to do it at his 30. What do you know when you're 30? You're basically clueless.
If you like us, please like, subscribe, and comment.
Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.